Urban Meyer was let go by the Jacksonville Jaguars last night. His footprint is obviously a much more successful one in the college game. What are your thoughts on Urban Meyer and where he goes from here, if anywhere, college or otherwise?
If it's anywhere, and I don't even know if it winds up being this, it would be TV.
Okay.
Because I think the kind of jobs he could get in college, like he could get a Bobby Petrino type job now.
Sure.
Maybe. Like directional Missouri school, basically. Like
you think he's fallen that far off? Okay.
Yeah, he's not going back to the places he coached before because here, you understand this, Dan, and you follow college football, and all the verballers follow college football closely. So they get this. Once you've done something that nukes your ability to recruit, you're done. And you can't have Urban Meyer come in and talk about how he's going to make your kid a better man, and then the next coach who's recruiting against him comes in and is like, hey, have you seen this video? Like, that's it. It's over. So
wow,
that's the problem. And so I also think a lot of the issues that popped up in the NFL regarding how he dealt with players would be a problem in this era of college football, when somebody can just transfer at the drop of a hat,
right?
When guys are making NIL money. Like, a lot of the same personal dynamics that go on in the NFL are going to go on in college football from this point forward. The coaches that people actually enjoy playing for are going to be the ones who have an advantage. Now, the ones who create the most first-rounders are still going to have an advantage, but the thing is, Dabo Swinney creates a lot of first-rounders. Nick Saban creates a lot of first-rounders. They don't come with this baggage.
Totally. But at the same time, you mentioned Bobby Petrino. Bobby Petrino got a Power 5 job after the motorcycle incident.
It's
after
one he
leaving.
Already had.
What? I know. But
it's one he already had.
It's one he already had, and also leaving, exiting the NFL prematurely and in weird circumstances, leaving a note in the locker room essentially for his players. So there is precedent. We're not talking about an occupation that only attracts the most upstanding professionals in head college football coaches. True. So there could be, maybe Urban Meyer finds religion, right? Like, is there that potential where there's a rehab stint?
I mean, we can imagine that story. I think we know who's going to write it.
Yep, we definitely do. You don't see that. You don't think his desire to, and I'm not talking about taking a job on the Ohio State or Florida level, but even on a mid-level Power 5 level, if there's a college town and a school that is willing to commit resources to the cause, that if he's able to go on a public relations tour and say, look, I screwed up, I've done some soul searching, I've gotten into transcendental meditation, and
yoga,
gets into yoga, is more flexible than ever. It worked for Brian Kelly, right? When Brian Kelly was Mr. Redface, he got into yoga, and it for whatever reason turned things around. You don't see that even as a very tiny slice on the pie chart of possibilities.
I think he would have to be willing to accept one of those jobs. I'm not sure he is.
Okay.
Now maybe this changes the math on that, but I really don't think so. I think this is it. This has gotten to the point where it's going to be very hard if you're a Power 5 program to hire him. Your fan base may not want it. Your administration probably won't want it. And again, there's a little too much out there at this point for him to come back from a recruiting standpoint.
True. Yeah, anything you look back on, and coaches who have gotten into trouble, be it for physical reasons, emotional reasons, whatever, every coach is older than, did things in a year that was 1998, 2004, a pre-social media universe where it's much easier to forget, where there's just no video out there of everything. There's no video in bars, on practice fields. There's no blogs covering everything. And so I guess it is easier to forget than it is in 2021, 22.
It's much easier to forget. And that's the problem. And, that video will follow him forever, the video from the bar. And look, if you're a single guy, that's a different story.
True.
But you can't be as preachy as he's historically been and then have that when everybody knows your wife was at home with the grandkids.
Right.
You just can't.
It's hard to sell Real World Wednesday or whatever he was doing at Ohio State.
This is how it works.
Real Life Wednesday, yeah.
I mean, that was some real life. Hitting you pretty fast.